Welcome to the Played Out, Weighed Out show. Of course, it's me, Jason McClure, and as always, we got Wyatt sitting there with us. And today we're going to talk a little bit about, we had 4 more new recruits that committed to Tennessee. I don't know if that means a hill of beans this early, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. We also going to talk a little more about the NIL. Man, that's going to change college football this year. Mm-hmm. This year, that's amazing. So thanks for joining us. Don't please remember to like, share, and comment if you have any comments. First, we're going to start off with, again, like I said, we had 4 new commitments. All of them 3 stars. One of them we had Jordan Phillips out of Florida, a 3-star defensive tackle. We also had Masai Reddick, offensive lineman from Detroit, Michigan, kind of far away. And we had a guy now, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, so I'm going to go with his nickname, Squirrel White, a 3-star. Man, I saw some of the highlights. It looks very impressive. And then we have, finally, who just committed yesterday, Maurice Clipper from Georgia, offensive lineman. He looked very talented. I liked how he climbed. But anyways, let's talk about a little bit again, about so far we have 10 commitments for the 22 recruiting season. We have 2 4-stars and 8 3-stars. Man, what's your thoughts on that, Wyatt?
Just looking at their ratings and stuff, it comes off a little disappointed, but that's just the way it is, But this is what I'll say. Dan Mullen, successful program at Mississippi State for years, and he was running off, just a few 4-stars, a lot of 3-stars. He had Dak Prescott, guys like that, built them up. So if Heupel's going out and getting these guys that he sees, that the diamond in the rough guys that fit his offense, okay, let's run. I don't care what your star is. If you're out winning national championships, I could care less how highly ranked you are coming out of high school.
Right.
However, what I'm worried about is Heupel is swinging and missing on some guys, and he's having to deal for these 3-stars. I hope that's not what is happening. Only time will tell once he gets his guys in there. But I don't look too much into recruiting. Is what I've always looked at.
And it's also too early, isn't it?
Yeah, it's way too early. Yeah. I mean, I think this time last year, Alabama, was ranked like 20th something in recruiting rankings, and they finished with possibly Nick Saban's greatest recruiting class of all time.
And to add to what you're saying, according to Rivals, I think Alabama is 9th, or they're top 10, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're not in the top 5, I don't believe. And Tennessee right now is ranked, according to Rivals, is ranked 39th.
Yeah.
Which, on one hand, that's only like 4 or 5 spots behind Florida. So I think okay. But for me, like I said, it really doesn't – I'm with you, though, why it's kind of way too early. But on the other hand, man, you can do a lot with 3-stars.
Yeah, you can.
And if you have, the question is like y'all heard me say before, you've heard me say, is this coaching staff, can they do more with less? That's the question. And so right now I'm kind of somewhat impressed because people were like, oh, they can't. Wasn't that one a knock against them?
Yeah.
He couldn't recruit. Tennessee was terrible last year.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? And so the fact that they're 39th, and if they have a good year, which they should be able to win 6 games, right? Surely they can finish in the middle of the SEC in recruiting. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, for Tennessee's been awful since I think the last actual time we were relevant, which we had the few good years there with Butch Jones, but last time we were actually relevant nationally, I'd say would be about 2007 when we lost in the SEC championship to LSU. But we've had good recruiting classes ever since that 2007 team. We haven't been outside the top 25 once in those years. Derek Dooley was bringing in top 20 classes. Butch Jones was bringing in top 5 classes. And
was he really?
Yeah. Where did it get?
Thanks for reminding me. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. But where did that get us? That got us an Outback Bowl win against Northwestern is the highest we got up to. So that's why all I hear from Tennessee fans, we hired a new coach, can he recruit? I'm like, every coach can recruit Tennessee. It's not a hard place to recruit. And recruiting is going to become even easier possibly with this NIL stuff. So recruiting is the last thing on mind. What we've been talking about since January on the show, I want to see a coach that can do more with less. It's kind of been, honestly, it's kind of been the theme of our show. Right. It really is. It's why we were
more with less.
Yeah, we were so high on Matt Campbell. It's because he's over here at Iowa State with 40th recruiting classes competing with Oklahoma in the Big 12.
Absolutely.
So I want a coach that can coach on the field, and then we'll worry about recruiting second.
Okay. To your point about can this guy do more with less, I'm looking forward to seeing how Kansas does against I'm sorry, with the new the Buffalo coach. What was his name? Leipold?
Leopold.
Okay,
Lance,
I'm looking forward to see what he
Call him
does
Lance, yeah.
because they claim that he can do more or less.
Yeah.
And so he's definitely been able to. He built Buffalo up, that's for
Yeah.
sure. But you segued into we're talking about the. You talked about the NIL. I don't know why I have a hard time talking. But anyways, what's your thoughts on that initially? Is that a good thing for Tennessee, or is that going to be a bad thing for Tennessee in your view?
Man, I've been thinking about this ever since it became out in the news it was going to happen, and it could go in a million different directions. It could be really, really good. It could be really, really bad. It could be kind of good, be kind of bad. It could be in the middle. I think it all comes down to the kid that is coming in, because with this name, image, likeness that they're doing, I mean, you had Master P, rapper. His son just committed to HBCU. And he was offered a $2 million endorsement deal. And so now you've got these kids say, oh, maybe I can go to a little smaller school and stuff, and I can make more money and stuff if I'm there, if I'm the top athlete at this school. However, if I'm a college athlete and my goal is to become the best professional athlete, yeah, I'd like to get some money in college off my name, image, likeness, but I'm still going to the place that can where I'm going to be developed. I'm going to be coached the best, have the best facilities, and I can become the best version of the athlete that I want to be. There's a recruit already that he's a 5-star receiver. I cannot remember his name. I tried to find it, couldn't find it. But he was talking about his latest recruiting visits, or he went to all the schools. None of them talked about academics. None of them really talked about facilities and stuff. It's how they were going to boost his name, image, and likeness up to him.
Exactly.
And he said, I pretty much crossed them all off my list. He's like, that stuff is nice, but I'm still here to go to college and stuff. And not one of them talked about how they can, how they can get me to my goal, becoming professionals, all name, image, likeness. So I think those schools have to remember, okay, yeah, these kids are happy. They're going to start getting those endorsement deals. But still, at the end of the day, let's talk about how we're going to get these kids to the pros.
Right. Okay. We have a comment, our first comment that's relevant. James, thanks. I appreciate it. It says it's going to make the athletes lazy. Why even try to go pro anymore when you can cash out in college? Hey, the sooner the better, man. In the world we live in now, hey, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but the sooner the better. I guess that's the world we live in now. So why not? It's how I feel. I don't know if it's going to be good for college football though. Go ahead.
These kids aren't going to be getting rich long term off of this. That's what we got to remember.
Right, that's true.
I've been seeing a lot of people are thinking, oh my goodness, the colleges are going to be paying these kids. That is not what is happening. What's happening basically is these kids are getting endorsement deals from these companies to promote their stuff, promote what they're selling. And so I'm kind of worried about a lot of kids' futures because it could make kids lazy. And so kids, they could get in there, be getting paid these small little, not obviously $2 million, not a small loan, but $2 million, they'll blow through that in college.
Oh, easy.
And so they get in here, they're lazy. They don't work to go to the pros. They never make it in the pros. And so all they ever got was that taste of that $2 million and stuff. So it could ruin a lot of kids' futures. It could. I hope it's not.
It could ruin a lot of kids' futures, you think?
You get a lot of kids in here, all of a sudden they're getting paid, say they get paid $2 million over 4 years. There's some kids that have never seen $2 million for. All of a sudden they're getting $2 million to play. And it's like, why do I need to go to practice? I'm a millionaire over here. I don't need to go to practice. And then they stop putting in the work, putting in the effort. And so they never make it to the pros. They don't never get to their goal. And then all they're left the rest of their lives thinking about, man, if I would just worked a little bit harder, look, who knows where I could be right now.
Okay, we got another comment. We have a couple more from James. I'm going to skip you, James. I'm sorry. We got one from one of our special guests, Bill Cole. Thanks for commenting, Mr. Cole or Bill. You said NIL is bad. Schools like Bama and ND will have the best chance of getting the top players. I agree. They have a better chance. But here's my question. I think, like, for example, a school like Auburn, has, from what I've heard, I guess I'm not an Auburn fan per se, but there was too many hands in the cookie jar in regards to coaches and things like that because these boosters had so much more pull, right?
Yeah.
Well, so my thing is now with this new NIL situation, anyway.
Name, image, and likeness.
No, I'm talking about is it agreement or what do they call it? What's the little, anyways, whatever. That situation, I feel like boosters are going to have more power, right? Because they're like, hey, I can pull in my wallet. just like from what I've heard, a headliner I was reading that Miami, I forgot what company, but a company obviously in Florida, offered the whole football team a agreement to pay them like $500 a month if all of them agree. So I mean, that's for obviously for the whole team of the Miami Hurricanes. So it's going to be interesting because I do agree with you, Mr. Cole, that hey, if you have boosters and you have money, then better players.
I mean, I think Bill's spot on there because the HBCU that offered this kid Master P's son the $2 million deal, he's a booster too. So I mean, say you get Jimmy Haslam at Tennessee to promote Pilot or something, he's over here paying recruits. Oh, if you come to Tennessee, I'll give you this millions of dollars and stuff. And Alabama's top booster could be doing the same thing. So I mean,
that's going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
I think
that's going to happen.
It's going to happen, but at the end of the day, I think that stuff has been happening. You know, the boosters, whoever has
absolutely
whoever has the top facilities, whatever team, top facilities, top stadium and stuff, generally gets the top recruits. So, is it really changing? If it's kind of all staying the same, just in a different way, I guess. But Miami though, Miami's quarterback. Did you see he's already signed like 6 deals or something?
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he's putting out his own cleat and stuff, and Miami is really cashing in.
It's really interesting because I don't even know the guy. And I'm not gonna say I don't even know him, so it's not like
Derek King. I think it's like Derek.
Oh, was it the King guy?
Yeah, King. He's already.
He was blasé at best, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's not even good.
I mean okay.
Mauer,
there's a lot of money in Miami, though. See, that's the thing. There's a lot of money in Miami.
That's my thing. Is this NIL? Is it going to be regulated at least? Are we going to say, you can't do a team deal? You got, because what if one team secures a deal with the top company or, I mean, it's like the top teams, which I think Tennessee could compete top team deal wise. They have the power to get these deals for their teams, but it's like the top teams will be running a monopoly on all of college football. I mean, why would a kid want to go, and you could make the argument that that's been happening for years, but like I said, this thing could go really, really good. This thing could go really, really bad. I saw Brian Mauer sign with Barstool Sports. That's one of the first Tennessee guys. I don't know if you've seen any other Tennessee guys sign deals or not.
No, but that's well, actually, let me get a comment in there. Brad Putt. My dear old buddy Brad Putt said, can you blame him? I think he's talking about the rapper. Rappers are making big bucks, hanging with thick chicks and drinking champagne, all the while not having to worry about getting a concussion. That's true, man. Hey, everybody likes thick chicks, right, Brad? Oh, I'm sorry. I know me and Brad do. But anyways, I don't know why I don't know what tickles your fancy, huh? Anyways, let's see here. Go ahead. I'm kind of lost here. Oh, we got it. Go ahead.
No, yeah, it's just everyone. Like one day I wake up like, well, this NIL is going to be really good, and then I'm like, God, this NIL is going to be awful because who was it? I think it was Jimmy Dykes was talking about. He was saying like, good luck to college coaches on keeping your locker room in check and stuff. But I mean,
it's already hard to keep them in check.
Come on, I think we know. I think we all know that these kids at Power 5 schools have been getting paid a little something under the table for years.
Oh,
now.
For years, yeah.
Yeah, so But
now it's just open the floodgates, right?
Yeah, but still, if I'm a coach and a kid thinks he's hot shot because he's, making money off endorsements, I'm like, who do you think you are? When this ends, this college athletic career is over, you think people are still going to want to give you their money? So you still got to work. That's what coaches are going to have to make sure of is they're going to have to find a way to make sure these kids are still putting in the work and that effort to get to the pros.
Man, but I mean, I see what you're saying, but on the other hand, how many football players make it to the pros?
Not a lot.
I mean, not a lot. I feel like when Victor was playing, I feel like they said you're more likely to get ate by a shark twice, more likely to get struck by lightning 3 times, something like that.
Something crazy.
So my thing is, what's the old cliche? My old buddies like to say, hey, you got to make hay while the sun's shining. And if the sun's shining in those 4 years, hey, if you're smart with your money, you can pay off a house or do whatever. It's going to give you a heck of a boost to to start your life out if you make the right moves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, go ahead.
A lot of these kids, they want the flashy thing. They're not worried about, they're going to want that flashy type of, hey, I've got everything type, buying them.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. We have one more, we have a comment from Derek Bowers. Thank you, Derek, for watching. Appreciate your comment. And you said you see what JJ Redick said about the name, image, and likeness. Best take I've seen. Have you? I haven't. I haven't. Derek.
Let's look it up here.
Hey, Gibson, can you pull that video up? Is that possible? Is that something we could do? No, I'm talking about the JJ Redick thing. No, that's all right. We'll look it up. Oh, and we have another comment right now from Bill Cole. Transfer portal will add to this problem. Again, Bill, I don't disagree with you at all. I think it is going to add to the problem. It's going to be the Wild Wild West. I don't see how they're going to have to, I feel like they're going to have to break off. You know how everybody's talked about the Big Five conferences? I mean, it's too big. It's gotten too big. Isn't that a part of the reason why the Roman Empire fell? And not only because they ate on lead plates I don't know, I'm not a historian, but something about eating on lead plates, but also the fact that they were too big. It's just too much ground to cover, too much to control over, if that makes sense. But let me see here. Did you find it?
Yeah, here it is. JJ Redick tweeted June 30th, 2021. From 2004 to 2006, I would have made a bag. He put money signs. I would have made a bag on NIL endorsements. Sadly, I would have blown it all on Natty Light and lactose polos with the collars popped, of course.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Is I think that
got a train coming.
Yeah, there's train. No.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that would be great if these kids are like, wow, I'm not gonna make it the pros, but I made $5 million off endorsements my time in college. Let me save this. I'm taking the JJ Redick point. I don't think kids are going to be looking at it like that. I think kids are going to be over here blowing their money on Natty Light and lactose polo, whatever is in style now. I don't know.
Big, thick women, right, Brad?
I mean,
yeah, buddy.
Well, we can't ask Brad. Brad spends $700 on clothes in 10 years. He just told us. Yeah,
oh, okay.
I can say me and Brad both. Me and Brad, yeah, that's all he needs. So
yeah,
but I don't think these kids are going to be thinking about money.
We'll talk about
being smart with their money. I don't think they're going to be like, oh my God, I got to save for this house and my family. They're going to be blowing money, buying every girl they see a drink at the bar type situation. So,
man, I'm telling you right now. Now, maybe that's why if I played at UT and I was getting paid, you better believe. Now, I was probably spend a little bit, but I'm telling you, I'm just not that kind of guy. Yeah. I'm not that kind of guy, man. I mean, I might spend a little bit on stupid stuff because you're a young man. Yeah. But to counter what you're saying, what about this? You said this Grant Frickin. What's the last name?
I think it's Firkin.
Firkin. Grant Firkin. I tell you, I read an article on it from the Atlantic a couple years ago, actually, and it kind of this guy, man, a walk-on wide receiver from Tennessee, and he also is the CEO of a $1 million business. I guess he specializes in pine straw. Who would have thunk? They according to the article from 2 years ago, 80% of his business is dropping pine straw. I guess into the and he's worked with Tennessee, the University of Tennessee, not Alabama, Auburn, Vanderbilt. At any rate, he's not only going to college, he's not only being a walk-on for UTK, but he's again a CEO for a $1 million business. And now in the latest article, I think that came out this past week, he's starting a new business where I guess he's going to help players use this NIL to try to capitalize the best they can off of it. So that's really interesting. What about guys like him? I mean, that's just like going hitting the first round. I mean, what I'm saying is the odds of this happening to the guys who sign is like getting drafted in the first round is very low. But that kind of stuff does happen. I think that's going to change the mentality. Now, this young man according to the article, started when he was 15 years old. He's like, he had that, like you said, entrepreneur spirit. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I think it helped him. The article said his dad was a lawyer. His uncle is in, I think, Missouri or Kansas, and he owns a landscaping business. So obviously he was kind of nurtured into that kind of thinking. But if of a young man who starts to, he's like, well, heck, I can make some money before I even go to pros. If he's thinking about that at 12, it's going to rewire your brain, and you could potentially start or learn how to capitalize off that and not be worried about pro as much. Don't you think that'll happen to the guys that are not as talented?
Yeah, well,
because usually they'll know
Yeah.
like, I'm not as talented. Well, heck, here's another alley.
Yeah, well, that's what's going on with, as we talked about earlier, Derek King from Miami. They're saying he's very entrepreneurial. He's out here, like I said, 6 deals already, putting out his own cleat. So maybe that will be a good sign. It can kind of change the mindset of some of these kids. Wow, I could kind of get my whole business, my brand going right now and start. So it could be good in that way too. And I hope it is, because I think Derek King is in his 6th year with COVID. He's able to do that 6th year. So maybe this is opening up the door, an alleyway for kids that weren't going to have that future in football. It can open up that door for them now in different ways. So maybe it will play out good that way.
Okay, we got another comment from Brad Putt. Hey, this stimulates the economy the same way politicians want you to. Waste money now and be on welfare when it all goes. Thank you, Brad.
Yes, thank you, Brad.
That's awesome, man.
Great comment. Actually.
All right, man. Is there anything else we got to talk about? I mean, we lost a staffer to Notre Dame, like a Brown. He was I think he was in the off-field.
Yeah,
did you see that?
It wasn't a big enough name to concern me.
Yeah, Brown, and he went to Notre Dame to be on field.
It was a promotion for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, good for that. Yeah,
and so I don't think that's gonna make a difference.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and then what else? What other things we got to talk about? I feel like.
It's pretty much off season. We're kind of in those dog days, getting
Right.
close to the season starting, and
53 days. Did I say
Yeah.
that? Did I say it? Oh man, I skipped it. I forget it, man. All right. Well, all right.
Bowling Green's gonna be here sooner than later.
Sooner than later. Well, that's all we have for the Played Out White Out Show. Again, thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for the comments, Derek, James, Brad, of course, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Go Vols.
Go Vols, like he likes to say.